What's up, everybody?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode
of the Coffee Break.
Coffee Breakup. Here we are again, as always, another 2 weeks away. Another episode.
Pleasure. Thank you guys for tuning in.
I'm exhausted. Before we begin, please, if you're watching us on YouTube, great, like, subscribe, help us with the subscriptions. That's what we need the most help with. So
share,
please
subscrive,
take a look at that. Subscribe, smash that like button. If you can't watch us, you want to listen to us, you can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, and Amazon.
As of now.
Yeah. We recommend you watching us on YouTube, though. It's a little better. You see who we're talking to,
who we are, who we have with us.
It flows better.
Nice.
Now, if you don't have time to listen or watch, you can always follow us on social media and get the little clips there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you find something that you can relate to, please share it with someone that you know. Share it to your story. Like, comment if you have any feedback, because creating the conversation on the uncomfortable topics is how we can normalize these uncomfortable topics and get comfortable being uncomfortable.
I like that.
Right?
Also, if you have the time, check out the website at coffeebreakup.com.
Yes, we have some shirts. We got some
coffee mugs and
audio stuff. You can learn about us, how we started. Everybody asks, like, would you guys begin with the podcast?
Who we are.
Yeah, go to the website and figure it out yourself.
All that good stuff.
All right. So we have yet another guest.
Very exciting. KC Chopz.
What's up, fellas?
You said it right. You said it right.
I did.
How are you? How are you?
I'm good. We are good. I'm great.
I'm better now.
Thank you so much. Man. Yeah, man. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You're no stranger to being on a podcast.
Or like with a mic.
Yeah, the mic.
Yeah, you're
a vet.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
For those who don't know you, you are, I would say, probably a very big Miami. What's the word I'm looking for? Personality?
Personality.
That's a good word. I was afraid you guys were going to say like the influencer word.
No.
I
we don't use the I word here.
Okay, good.
I wasn't thinking about that.
Good.
Yeah, I guess you're
a man personality. So, but for those who don't know you, please, the floor is yours. Give us where you're from, background, where you were born, what you do, XYZ. Floor is yours.
I was born in Miami and I was raised in Broward. And I'm always in Miami for work. So I kind of play, the whole Tri-County. I was on the radio, Power 96, for 8 years, straight out of high school. Never went to college. Got an internship right on Power 96 from high school, and I was doing that radio and DJing at the same time on the radio and DJing in the clubs. So I did that for 8 years, and I quit Power 96 in 2016, and then moved to Colombia for like 3 months. Lived in Colombia for a little bit. Then I came back and just started DJing in the clubs full time with no radio and just building my brand ever since. And yeah, man. So, I mean, a lot of people know me probably 3 things, either from the radio,
that's right,
from the clubs. I've done every South Beach clubs, Wynwood clubs, Fort Lauderdale, everywhere, Boulevard, everywhere. And I've done, and I have viral videos of me speaking Spanish. So, like, I'm like the white dude that speaks Spanish.
So you're not Hispanic. I was gonna ask you what's your background.
No.
So
gringo puro, bro.
Damn,
yeah.
Bro,
so
Spanish is pretty good though.
Yeah. So I have viral content online of skits and all type of shit, and that's what garnered me the most views and engagement. Yeah. So those are the 3 things probably that people know me from in Miami.
Damn, that's awesome. So what you said you went to high school? You didn't go to college, but where'd you go to high school?
I went to Cypress Bay.
So it's like
West Broward, like Pines area.
Oh, okay.
Pines.
I remember, because I wrestled in high school, but that name sounds familiar of me having to have wrestled them in some tournament. Cypress Bay, so that's up north.
Yeah, bro, West Broward. So Pines, Weston area.
Damn, bro. So how did you get the opportunity to go to be? Were you already DJing in high school?
No.
Was that like your thing?
No. Basically, I wanted to be. So my mom has been on the radio for 30 years.
Doing
the country station. Right? Okay. Middays, right? 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for like 30 years, right? So I was always around radio just as a personality on a microphone, right? So I got an internship at Power 96. I wanted to be on the radio. But I realized like it's going to take a minute for me to get a full-time paying position to be on the radio.
Especially
right?
like they're limited positions too, right? Like
exactly, bro. There's only like 5. I mean, now the Titanic is basically sunk for radio. Sure. But like when at that time, it was like, 5 full-time chairs, and the money was good at that time. So I was waiting. And then I always made beats and did shit like that in high school, but I would watch the DJs DJ, like the Traffic Jam, like DJ Zog. They would go to the mix room and they would DJ, you know, at 5 o'clock on the radio. So I'm watching him. I'm like, I can learn this shit. And this is right when the computer came out, Serato. So I'm watching him, you know, DJ. I'm like, bro, I could do this shit. I make music. I understand the concept of music and arrangement and shit. So, can I curse on here? I don't know.
Yeah. Fuck, bitch, shit.
So, okay, yeah, get it out the way. So yeah, man. So basically, I learned to DJ and I started getting in the clubs so I could get some income while I'm waiting for the radio stars to align for me. So I just started, you know, waiting for radio. I worked for Laz for 4 years producing his morning show. Then I did overnights on the air, midnight to 6 a.m. I've been like a vampire like half my life. So, and then I would work in the clubs to make money. And it started like the ship started to tilt to where I was getting more money in the clubs. And this dream started like, it's not realistic anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I did end up getting 2 years night show on Power 96. But that lasted for 2 years, and you know, and the thing is with Power 96 is it's like I've had a new head coach every 2 years. You get me? Mm-hmm. So that's the thing with radio. It's like, or a program director. So as soon as you like get cool with this guy, they fire him and they bring in another guy. Now you got to get cool with him, and it's like, you know. So the radio process is like a hamster wheel. Yeah. So I just built my brand in the streets, and that started to like, you know.
Yeah, because that's where I remember your name from. I remember like DJ Laz would be like, "Oh, Casey Chopz in the mix" or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So that's how that name started. It was familiar. I was like, "Damn, I know I've heard of this before." Damn, but that's a pretty cool story, man. To be going in as an intern and then you just literally with no DJ. I mean, yeah, you kind of mess around with beats, but then see some guy there in the studio and he's like, I could do that shit.
Yeah, man.
So then how did you you just put in the work yourself? You had someone teach you? You asked questions? Or you just
man, I would just watch him, bro. And I would just watch how he did everything, and I just picked it up, and I would go and practice by myself in the mix room when I got off. And I would just practice, and I never owned equipment, never. I would practice at the station, then go to the club. They have all the equipment there. I just had a laptop, and I'll plug it in, and yeah, man. And then I started doing interviews. So I would say like in 2012, I interviewed Kendrick Lamar. I interviewed A$AP Rocky. I had a couple viral interviews.
Through where?
Through Power 96.
Nice.
You got to remember at the time, a lot of people that worked at Power 96 were dinosaurs. So they'd be like, hey, I was like the sixth man on the bench. So they're like, hey, this new guy, Kendrick Lamar, I don't know who the fuck he is. Anyone want to interview him? Everyone's like, no, I'm too busy. I'm like, shit, I'll do it. Yeah. So and then the interviews pop because these people don't know that Kendrick Lamar is popping is up and coming.
Yeah, you would understand. Yeah, you would understand a little bit that demographic and that environment better.
Exactly, so bro. So I've interviewed Ross, A$AP Rocky, Kendrick Lamar.
It's pretty dope, man.
Yeah, man.
Are they cool people?
Yeah. Kendrick Lamar was actually all three of them that I mentioned were like the dopest ones. Actually, A$AP Rocky was super humble.
I'm dying.
Kendrick Lamar.
That's like my dream. Guess, no offense. I mean, you're great.
Yeah.
A$AP, bro, I would love to have A$AP on this thing,
I asked them to freestyle because freestyling, I'm a fan of like New York radio, and freestyling wasn't a thing here in Miami. Like freestyling on the air, that's like a Funk Flex New York City type thing. I wanted to bring it over here. So I asked Kendrick, hey man, after I did the interview, are you down to freestyle? He's like, hell yeah. So I put on the Regulators old school New West Coast beat. He freestyled to that. A$AP Rocky did it, and those pieces went viral on World Star.
What?
Yeah, man. That was like 2012, 2013.
Nice. So and then you parted ways from
yeah, in 2016, man, I couldn't take it anymore. They started, it got sold to CBS Power 96. They started moving like white guys from like Wisconsin, and they started diluting the culture. They didn't understand. Miami's its own world, its own culture. They started playing pop music and Taylor Swift on Power 96, and my name was going up in the club, and they were holding me back on the radio and messing up my club schedule. And I was like, you know what, bro, forget this. After 8 years, I'm like, I don't need this. Let me try to be my own boss. It was scary, but
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man, I work for myself. I didn't have to answer to anybody.
But do you feel like, Power 96 kind of like blew your name up a little bit? Like this?
Oh, for sure.
That's like where
100%.
And you also got some experience, like doing things
that exposure.
Exposure.
Yeah.
Met certain people that you otherwise probably wouldn't have met.
Right, but it jades you too. Yeah. That business warps you, bro.
Really?
It warps you, yeah, because they fire. You could get hired and fired the same week. You know what I mean? I know people.
It's like, you can't even get excited about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're just like, okay, another gig.
Yeah, you know that it's like a relationship. You know you're gonna get cheated on. Eventually it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So you're just kind of like with your defense up. That's why I put so much stock into DJing on the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I didn't have to rely on the radio. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
So you established your own name, so people associate you with
Was
you
that
or your
like
own identity.
was that even I don't want to say legal, but like was that frowned upon for them to be like that you're like, oh, I know you guys kind of made me or you guys established me, but I'm gonna go do my own thing on the side. Were they like, yo, no, like?
Well, that's what you do in radio. Is that there's only a select amount of people actually get paid from the radio, and all the DJs that you hear that are DJing, they don't get paid shit. They just have to use their name in the street. You know what I'm saying? To build their brand. So
to get paid, because
yeah.
they can give you the exposure to whoever's listening.
Right, they pay. The radio pays you an exposure, basically.
Right.
And if you don't do nothing with that exposure, that's your law. Yeah.
Right, it's on you.
You know.
So that's when you said, okay, I'm gonna grab life by the horns and do my own thing.
Yeah, man.
And you never look back. You're like, fuck this game. I'm out. I'm
completely independent, bro. I don't like any corporation telling me how to do my content. That's why whether it's podcasting, whether it's DJing, whatever it is, like I'm warped from that corporate life, bro. From dinosaurs that aren't in the culture telling me what to do, how to create, and I'm like, no.
So now when you DJ in clubs and venues, so you don't have no manager or anything like that. You do everything yourself. Like you're the one who goes from club to club and
like you're your own manager.
Yeah,
yeah,
is
man.
that how it works?
Yeah, I've dealt with managers here and there, but for the most part, most of my career, I've done it myself.
Interesting.
I'm hands on with that.
So what do you do? Like, do you have to like reach out to like the club owner, like someone, a promoter, and be like, yo, can you?
It depends, bro. Sometimes you get hired through the club owner, right? And then people grow throughout the business. So like maybe this club owner that I knew when I was like 21, now he owns this club and now I'm 25 and now we're working for him and now he left that club. Now he's a manager at this club and now we're 29 and now he works for me. So a lot of you grow with people, and then sometimes it's like promoters, a bouncer could be a promoter the night. So the nightlife is kind of like a small knit circle, and
yeah, everybody knows everybody. They can't escape that either.
Yeah.
Like a double-edged sword almost.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, man. So you're a single guy right now, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. How do you balance? Do you find that maybe the industry that you're in, as I don't know, say so much industry, but you being DJ and exposing to like different clubs and stuff like that. Excuse me. Do you feel like that can be almost a challenge in finding someone that may understand or someone who's at least willing
1,000%. I'm warped. I'm warped. I think my dating life is warped. I'm fucked up in the head, bro, because it's you go to the club and you see 20 beautiful women a night. You're like, if I'm in a relationship, I'm fighting temptation the whole time.
That's what
I'm boxing with the devil.
Kind of what you were saying.
The whole time, bro. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like if you really met somebody that maybe that person for you, that you could surpass that temptation, or do you feel like you'll always have that? Maybe just haven't found that person.
I do, and I hopelessly hope for that one day. Right. But the problem is that the single life is so fun that I set that bar too high, that sometimes I wonder if I set the bar unrealistically high. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I see that.
And I've dealt with, so many different types of women that, sometimes I wish that I didn't. I feel like the more the bigger your sample sizes of women, the harder it is to decide on one. You know what I'm saying? If I go to like, Bath and Body Works and I tell you, yo, smell these 2 candles, which one do you like more? You can smell one and you'll pick. But if I tell you smell all 8 of these, which one you like, you won't be able to pick.
It's something too many options.
Interesting analogy. I get what you're saying. No.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's also you're exposed to a certain lifestyle that comes with certain other things. And it may make it harder, for you to date, obviously, and also for you to find that woman, right, or for them to find you. And
then you add in the schedule difference, right? People, someone who has a regular 9 to 5, I'm working on the weekends. They want to go out and be free on the weekends, and then during the day, that's when I'm running around getting shit done, and they're at work. So it's tough in all aspects.
So you may have to find somebody who is in the industry, right? At the same time.
But that's what I usually deal with is bartenders and waitresses and women that are physically beautiful.
Right.
But what else do you bring to the table? What else do you offer? You know what I mean? It's tough.
I have a question. Prior to any of this, how was your kind of your dating life when you were in high school, or maybe when you were interning? Did you ever have that one girlfriend that kind of fucked you over for you to now be like,
bro, I've had one
bars too high?
My 1 year my longest relationship was 4 years, from when I was 18 to 22.
And you had the internship right after 18 then?
Exactly. And she was at UCF at the time. So half of it was long distance. And yeah, man, I've had the heart. I wonder. I always think to myself, am I scarred from this heartbreak? There was one time I was DJing at Passion in the Hard Rock. It's like 2 a.m, and my friend texts me in UCF, yo, I just saw your girl with another guy up. You know, they're in Orlando. So, bro, and I'm young. You know, I haven't been heartbroken yet. This is like my everything, my girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, bro, I leave the club. I put someone else to DJ, and I leave the club at 2 a.m. in the Hard Rock with tears in my eyes, lit, driving 100 miles an hour to Orlando. I get to her crib. I'm throwing rocks at the window. I know you're up there. Like, you know what I mean? Like some crazy, yeah. So,
oh my god,
yeah, bro.
Whatever happened there?
I think that was my most traumatic moment as far as like relationship goes. And I was young. I was like 22. I always wonder if I still harbor those feelings, though. I need to see a therapist.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
So after that relationship, nothing was ever the same in terms of like romantic.
Well, I'm sure you.
Bro, I have so many stories, bro. Like I have. Okay, so.
Oh, by the way, careful with moving too much in the chair because that chair is super wonky. Apparently.
My bad, bro.
No, you're good.
I'll give you another funny story. I've told it a couple times. So I met this girl on Instagram, right? This was when I was like 23, 24. And she had 200 followers. She looked like she should have had 200,000 followers. I slid in her DMs, like, yo, you know, you want to meet me at the club? She's like, yeah. She meets me at the club. It was at Wall at the time. And she, bro, Cubana, like, sees me, beautiful, bro, in person, latches on to me. I'm like, yo, this girl's the baddest girl I've ever been with in my life, right? So this is why I'm scarred from Cuban women from Kendall. Well, I tell you. So basically, I'm like, I want to take my time with you, so and so and so. Long story short, I was with her for 3 months, and I was living with my mom still. I was like 23 at the time. And I would drive from Broward to the radio station, work at night, then drive to her crib in Kendall, sleep over, then drive back to my mom. I was doing a big triangle, right? Yeah. So 3 months go by, and I tell her, look, I need to take a little break. I'm about to get my contract with radio. I was going to move her in, but I needed like some space because I was too
still
on
fresh,
her, right?
3 months though, bro.
Yeah, it was like a summer, 3 months. So basically, my boy comes in one day at the radio station. He goes, yo, I think I saw your girl in a porn. I'm like, yo, get the fuck out of here, bro. He's like, yeah, bro. So we open up the laptop and he shows me the video, right? And it's like a preview video, right? Like a Bang Bros preview. So I'm trying to pause it and compare it to a picture to see if it's her. But every time I pause it, she's looking to the left, looking down. So I had to charge it to the game and get the $3.99 trial version account. You know what I mean? So I get the trial version account and it's her. And it was a Halloween scene, and it was 8 girls in a circle, naked, not touching any guy, right? And 3 girls actually, you know, getting it in. But she was one of the girls that didn't touch a guy. She was just naked. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I called her. I'm like, yo, what was that? Like, you needed money? Like, what was the problem? She's like, oh, no, they say I'm going to be a superstar. They're waiting for the right time to put me out. What the fuck? Long story short, you know, I don't know if, like, Luna Star now. She's like the biggest porn star in the game. So
get out of here.
Swear on my life, bro. I have pictures from when we were together, like before she was even in porn, bro.
Man, you better Google that when you get home, and you'll see what I mean, bro.
Yeah. So
damn,
then
son,
that happened.
So, but wait. But then what happened? So
yeah,
then,
you guys continue to date, or
nah, bro. Like
for you,
she was mad. I shouldn't have broke up with her. I needed that time away from her for like 2 weeks to get my shit together. I shouldn't have did that because then she's like, oh, he played me.
You were also young too, so
yeah,
it's like, I can see at that age. Like, imagine someone's like, oh, like she was in this video and you're still dating her.
Yeah,
pussy.
Yeah, bro. I couldn't still date her.
But what about
she
now?
was out of here by then.
What about looking back now? Like, do you think that if you were in the similar position right now, that like, what's your position on that? Because we've talked about all the time. Like, if you're dating a girl and she has an OnlyFans, or she wants to get an OnlyFans, or in this case, I mean, that's like the new, I would say, G-rated version of porn at this point. But like, or what if you like meet a porn star and like you guys hit it off? You think that you'll be able to like pursue a porn star?
Nah, bro. I couldn't hook up with her for a little bit. You know what I mean? But I couldn't take her serious. And I'm already I'm 30, so it's like I'm looking for something now serious. You know, so I'm over meaningless shit that I know that's not going to lead into anything. I'm over like investing in that type of shit.
So you're saying that if obviously she's a porn actress or whatever, that's a deal breaker for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then if or you said that you're in your 30s now, but you also said the bar you feel like is unattainable. It's so high. Like,
right?
What do you think is gonna come next? Because I mean, you did say that, I think I gotta go to therapy because of that ex. I don't think I'm still harboring those feelings. When are you gonna say, you know what, I gotta force myself into the next step of my life and maybe meet more people more in line to what I'm looking for?
Right. So let me throw in this element to it now too. I don't this is gonna get like, I don't believe in 50-50. like in a relationship. I believe and so I was raised, I mean, I'll be transparent. I was raised with my mom holding down the family and people taking advantage of that.
All right.
And being complacent, right? So it made me it made me want to be a man. It made me want to be an old school man. It made me want to support a family, be able to support a family. And if I can't support a family, I'm not ready for a relationship.
All right,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. Remember when we had Natalie on, not the fitness one.
Fit, yeah.
Remember, like her boyfriend was like, "Oh no, unless I'm loaded with money and I know I can support, he didn't want to take the next
step
moves."
in the relationship,
right?
yeah.
So okay, so that's your similar position to this one girl. Right. So then, and then so that's how you were raised. That's how you want to be,
right? So basically, I have to feel like my shit is together, and I could build a household, build a home before I. You know what I mean?
Bring somebody else.
Right. And if I do meet the one, then she's the one and I'll figure it out. But that's why I set the bar so high. You know what I mean?
So you would want your woman you would want to support her fully, and she was like I
don't believe in, I'm old school in this sense where I believe in gender roles. I believe in like dynamic opposition. I believe in everyone brings different things to the table and our differences mesh us together.
So you bring in the bread, she goes grocery shopping, cleaning, cooking, you provide financially that element.
Damn, I hate how like bad that sounds, right?
He's making it sound bad because
those are gender roles. Right. You're talking about gender roles. That's what women's supposed to.
Exactly.
Right, but we can say, for example, like, you can make all the money in the world, but that will never be enough of raising a family. Because think of how that's a toll on one's own, time and on their efforts and stuff.
I agree. And I think 50-50, there's always more burden on the woman because she's working with you. You guys are paying half and half, but she's always going to be cleaning more than you. She's always going to be taking more. And the burden is always going to end up more on the woman.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily agree, because if you're really saying 50-50, then you're not just cleaning more, then because my 50 is also part of cleaning and cooking.
Or maybe it might not be cleaning, but it can be like, okay, you're not making money. Right. There would be nothing to clean if I didn't make the money. Right. That's my 50. Right. People can argue that.
Right.
Which is why I'm saying I may be making money. The woman may not be making any money, but what she's doing for the family offsets
what you bring in.
That's her 50.
100%.
It's a different 50, but it's still a 50.
And I agree, a woman is entitled to part of the estate as far as financials go if there's a split. I even agree with that.
That's still fair because she's still
exactly. It's the team. She's
a good argument.
She's not investing money financially, but she's building the castle with you. She's entitled to half the castle.
That is not a bad argument. Right. It's not a bad argument because it's the same thing that I said. Just because she's not financially putting anything in, the work that she's putting to sustain that, oh boy.
Or if she's raising your kids.
That's what I'm saying. Because you're not. I mean, you are raising them, but if you're the one out making the money because you're not putting the same amount of time with your kids, that's a priceless
amount.
And
they're both hard jobs. Building a company and supporting a household is a hard job. Raising kids is a hard job. Absolutely. It's the same. You know what I mean?
We got an argument over here. Yes, sir.
A lot of women will agree with you. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
But I
don't.
No. Let me tell you something, that I've been hard-headed for a long time.
Well, before that, sorry. So he has a girlfriend and a child as well. So this is why he's.
I've been hard-headed for a long time, but I'm slowly starting to realize your point of view, and in the sense of like I would say wife, because I have a daughter, a kid with her, but I've been the one working for about 2 years now. She's been the one home taking care of my daughter and the house. So I understand where you're coming from, and I believe that a woman staying home, taking care of the baby, taking care of the house, cleaning your clothes, cooking, that 50% that she's putting is equivalent to maybe even more than the 50% that you're putting when it comes to just going to work and bringing in the money.
I agree with you.
You go home, everything's done for you, but we, man, don't realize how hard it is, like you said, to take care of a kid.
And then, exactly. And then you have, if your wife is working and then she's raising children and then she got to cook, she's not going to have time. That's how relationships turn into sexless relationships. And she's not going to want to.
She's not going to have love.
Yeah, she's not going to have that. Like, women and men are different biologically. And I'm not with this new generation, this new climate, and not acknowledging the biological differences, the way men and women are wired. women are into relationships. I read a fact. It was like if you want two countries to come to a peace agreement, you put a woman to do that. A woman are
Bringing
they
things together.
understand the concept of relationships, and they lead with love. It's
Exactly.
emotions.
They want to bring
Right.
things together. We don't see that. We don't.
exactly.
Well, you bring up a good argument, because I think even in the book of the 5 love languages, but you'll read it anywhere. Like, men are more wired for, like, for example, when it comes to relationships and sex, like, men just, like, that's what their thing is. Like, we just know how to what's the word I'm looking for? Now, I don't want to say breed. Procreate, is it? Like,
Right.
all we know
Like
is
animals.
Yeah. So, for example, and I'll give you a fact. I think I've said it before. Did you know that men who last a shorter amount of time, they actually have a stronger primal instinct or stuff like that, because they're able to reproduce faster. Did you know that?
I can see that.
I know, yeah, because back then it wasn't about pleasure. Back then it was just about making, kin.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, yeah.
So then when you think about back then, guys, they're just more about that sex, when a woman is more about like emotion, affection, and relationship. So I can see your argument on that.
Okay.
Damn it, that's interesting.
I like that. It's a good argument and a good topic. I'm from a family where my mom raised all of us by herself, pretty much 8 kids. I have 7 siblings, so I saw my mom holding it down all the time. My dad wasn't really in the picture. I see him like twice a year. He was providing financially, but she was there raising us, cooking, cleaning, everything. But for me, the goal is, if I want to have a family, I want to provide the same aspect, that I want to cook, I want to clean, I want to take my kids to school. I
You'll be
wanna
a stay-at-home dad?
No, but like I feel like we can live in a world where I can go to work and I also can take care of my kids. I can go to work and I can make money and I can also clean. And the same vice versa, because there are a lot of women who say, well, I don't want to stay at home all day. I want to make money too. I want to get things done. I want to build my business. I want to build something.
Would you be a stay-at-home dad though?
Let me ask you a question though.
No.
Damn, this is gonna get a little controversial, but
to me.
do you think that women are in the workspace because they genuinely have a passion for their career, or because they've been raised to think that never depend on a man, so they have to go in the workspace?
The latter. B.
I feel like there's some women that's a big one, but also, I mean, there's some women that are very driven. They don't want to take anything from anybody, and they just want to be. They follow their
Because
passion.
I feel like it's not I feel like that's the minority case, but a lot of it is not about finding your passion. A lot of it is just
Because you have
don't
to.
depend on a man.
Right.
So figure it out.
I think they kind of go hand in hand a little bit, though. You don't think so?
Yeah, I think it goes hand in hand, but at the same time, like, I mean, I feel like if given the choice, most people would say they'd rather stay at home and then go to work. Like work, like, do you really, like?
No, but there's a sense of self-satisfaction of being able to accomplish your own shit, though,
and work for, but that also applies to men as well. Like,
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day,
True.
We say that because we've never been through it, but let me tell you, stay home with a kid all day, clean the house all day, cook all day,
it's rough.
wash all
rough.
day, and you're gonna see how you don't want to be home.
Well, especially
see
this
that.
year. This year has probably been more wake up call for so many people. But like, I would love to work from home. Now they had to work from home for like 2 weeks, and they're fucking, I want to go back to work. So it's like, it's a give and take, I think, at the end of the day. But I like that argument that a lot of women feel like, I have to go to work because I can't rely on anybody. And it's a valuable point, because at the end of the day, do you really want to rely on anybody else?
And most men can't hold the whole household down like financially nowadays anyway. So I understand that as well.
You can. I mean,
Yeah,
in a
dude,
perfect world, if you're making millions of dollars.
My parents, they bought their crib for $90,000 like 30 years ago, and now the crib's worth like $400,000-$500,000. You know what I mean? Like, it's impossible,
Right. And
even to afford rent.
I posted-
By yourself at some.
And what do you
some
think of
places.
this? I posted this the other day. The 2 scenarios: Scenario A, Scenario B. Scenario A, the man and the wife, they both work. They both make $100,000. The household generates $200,000 total, right? Or the wife stays at home and the man makes $125,000. So it's substantially less. Yeah. But what is better to raise kids in? What is better? What is a happier home? What is, you know what I'm saying? Are we gonna have? In this country, we're taught to just go after things, material, the bigger house, the better car, the better crib, you know what I'm saying? Or is making less money but more time to raise a family and build a household. I'd rather live in a $200,000 apartment with just me working than to live in a $500,000 big ass crib while my wife is working. We don't have time for the kids. We're all stressed for each other. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think it's a very good point, because at the end of the day, bro, it's your kid. And I always say it. I think especially when the kid is so little, one parent should stay at home, whether it is the mom or the dad. I think one parent should be at home. And if you can't be because you're working or your grandma or your mom has to take care of the kid, bro, then you're not ready to have a kid. Like, I feel like one parent should be home, especially for the first 1 or 2 years. And I know some people might disagree or whatever, but I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's a great point that I'd rather make 125K, but my wife is being at home, taking care of the kid, raising the kid, or vice versa, where she makes 125K and I'll stay at home.
Right.
But what about how many kids? Let me ask you, because you actually have a kid. What if you had 3 kids? Do you think that Yadira would probably have to get a job as well?
I mean,
or would you have to get 3 jobs?
I would have. I think I would have to work harder.
But does she want, like, so she doesn't want to ever
Because she has
go back
to
to
work
work?
harder. If we have one kid,
You're going to be at home for the rest of your life? Huh?
yeah, but it's not like that. You don't see it because you've never been put in that
That's
position.
exactly what he just challenged.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't really talk about something when you've never really been through that.
I understand.
Or you can opinionate, but if she has 3 kids rather than 1, she's still gonna work harder. That means I still gotta work harder if you want to do it at 50-50, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you never want her to work again? Like, do you rather her just be like a stay-at-home mom?
Bro, to be honest with you, sometimes how things are nowadays and sending your kids out to daycares and having somebody else taking care of
Yeah,
it.
but
It's
think
just
of like the
not-
social aspect.
I
of
would
this.
also argue that because both people are in the workspace, that's the reason divorce rates are higher too. Just the dynamic is different. I mean, these,
I can,
you know what I mean? These are
it may be.
these are just my
Yeah,
this is my opinion.
I
you know?
get, and we love the feedback.
Yeah.
I don't
Why are divorce rates so high?
What is it? Finances is one of them.
Finances,
actually.
kids, and the fact that
Kids.
everybody, you can. Back in the days, a lot of it was frowned upon for women to get divorced, or a lot of women didn't have the same. When was it? Women weren't able to open up their own bank account until the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. So people were like, "Oh, back then times were different." Yeah, well, also women didn't have that same liberty that they have now. It's more acceptable to have kids out of wedlock. It's more acceptable to live in 2-parent households.
Is that good though?
No, I don't.
Acceptable to have kids out of wedlock? You know what I mean? Like,
Hey,
I don't know.
I'm with.
I think, yeah.
I'm with
I
you,
mean,
but we're gonna have some
my bad, bro. We like
backlash.
deep conversation.
Yeah, we're gonna have some backlash. Oh, damn, I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
Wait, you're talking about kids. Does that mean you want to have kids?
Yeah.
You're looking forward to
You don't have-
something that you want to do?
I don't have kids, but I'm very I could have had kids, but I'm very careful that I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like that I'm smart.
the right,
I like
the
that.
right time.
Right.
ready
Because it's
for that.
my
with the
biggest
right
fear
person.
is to have a kid with someone I don't want to have a kid with. That's my biggest fear. I have so many people around me that are in broken relationships.
Start crying.
The kid's life is, you know what I mean? Like,
I see it all the time, and it's like people dating for 6 months, all of a sudden you're pregnant, and bro, 6 months you don't know this person.
Facts.
Yeah, and, bro, I mean, no offense to anybody. If it works for you, great.
right.
But I think, bro, it's a big step bringing another human being into the world that you're now responsible with for the rest of your life, not just till they're 18, but also beyond.
for real.
So, I mean, I've seen it. Like my mom, my parents were divorced and separated and then back together, and it's not healthy. Like looking back into the childhood, like it's not ideal.
Yeah.
But life doesn't always work out the way we want it
Right.
to. So no offense to anybody.
Yeah, no judgment.
No judgments. Judgment free zone.
Damn, so what are you looking for now? Like, are you still kind of working on you? Are you still kind of building yourself? Have you met anyone that maybe has changed your mind? Or have you kind of just changed your perspective on what it is that you want to accomplish?
I mean, the pandemic kind of switched everything up for me a little bit because
that's
it kind of like destroyed like my whole career basically.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like
Paused. Well, you paused your career, shelved your career. Didn't
Okay,
destroy it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's not over.
I've been through I feel like I was in 3 relationships this quarantine this
In
year.
the
Like
past,
2 months, 2 months, 2 months. Like, and it's to the point where it's like, I'm not making enough money for me to feel comfortable to be in a relationship like that.
I see
I
that.
like that.
I
You know what I'm
actually
saying?
understand that.
Yeah.
But are you also, well, you're big on gender roles. So, like, for example, if you were to take a girl out, or let's say she wanted to link up with you, would you still be the one to pick up the tab every single time?
I'll never. This is one thing you're gonna know about me. We could be on a lunch. It won't even be a date. You could be just
Sure.
my coworker, and if you're a female, I'm gonna pay.
Right.
Okay.
It's just that's just how I feel.
He'll
you know what I mean?
challenge that.
No. Listen, hey, what works for you works for you.
Yeah,
and,
that's just
and
how
at
I-
the end of the day, there's a lot of women who would appreciate that.
But don't you feel like it's gonna hold you off from finding someone? Because what if you never, knock on wood, you never recover from this? Are you always gonna be like, well, then I'm just never gonna date until I get my money up?
Yeah, I'm gonna recover. Like my career has to
Right,
come
no,
first.
absolutely,
Like, you know what
I
I mean?
get that. Yeah.
But
Yes,
like comfortable enough to the point where like you have to make enough bread to like.
To support 2 people, 2 lives. right? Is that what you're gonna? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I would have to feel super confident in and like I said, it was just the way I was raised. So I want to be the opposite of what I saw in my crib. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, but times are also different, son. Like
yeah, and it's like you don't have to go from one end of the spectrum to the other one where you have to support another human being for
right.
You know, especially when you have kids and stuff like that, bro.
Right.
I mean, I guess in a perfect world, if you make money to the point where that's what you can do, great. But
so what about this? So let's say you have a partner, right? And you guys move into an apartment together. No kids. You're gonna cover the rent, cover the groceries, cover the expenses, all this stuff.
Yeah.
all of it.
Damn.
No. Wait.
What?
The rent, yeah. I'm gonna cover the rent, but as far as groceries, like small things like that, we could split and we could figure shit out. You get this, you get that, but because I know I can't cook. I'm not gonna do laundry. There's things I know that I'm not gonna do.
Right.
So I have to make it up. I can't be a hypocrite. I have to make it up in other regards.
With your 50, how we were discussing,
exactly.
the way you would contribute your 50.
Exactly.
So, hey, I'll get the whole rent, but then you got to help out with the washing of this and that and stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
So would you get upset if you date somebody, you cover the rent and they work, whatever, but you go home and there's no food on the table? It
would definitely be talked about. Like, what are our roles here? What are our jobs? And it doesn't have to be super traditional, but if I agree that I'm going to take care of the rent, what are you going to do? Just tell me what you're going to bring to the table. It's an agreement.
What about you? I mean, you obviously have a kid, so I would assume that you're the one bringing the money and she's doing everything at the crib.
Yeah, but I've never really had that conversation before because she knows at the end of the day they're gonna know their role. I mean,
And I feel like she also understands. Like, I'm not making money, so I'm
This is I compensate.
Yeah, they feel bad about it that they're not really making money, but so they know that they should be doing other things when that's cooking.
See,
and clean.
I would make it clear that it's our money. The money that I'm making is our money.
Yes, don't ever say
it's
your money.
It's my money. I do whatever I want.
Oh man, so many fights.
Yeah,
it's just something that sometimes comes out of my mouth and I say, "It is my money," but wow, that's an argument.
Yeah, I just feel like
it really is our money. It really is.
I mean, for you because you have a kid with this person. I mean, it's a little different.
No,
for
I see that. No, because he did make the money, but at the end of the day, it's the same thing that we just talked about.
It's going to
what
for
she's
us.
contributing for the household. There's no price
What
to
is
put
she-
on that. Like, she's not earning money off of it, but
Yeah.
she's doing
Right.
things
No.
that you should be doing. But because you're bringing the money,
she's not gonna tell you this is my wash, this is my clean, it's ours. You know what I mean?
I just feel like masculinity is under attack right now. So maybe I'm a little OD in like defending it. But like I just think, these new men, and I hear it from women, like these new men, they have female tendencies. They're afraid to lead. They're afraid to take charge.
Yeah.
They're afraid to, and it's because of this new climate, bro. It's the new masculine is looked at as bad. It's toxic masculinity, but we don't talk about, there's toxic femininity. We don't talk about that. You know what I mean? Men are getting bashed, bro.
So my argument to you is, I feel like, and this is in no comparison, but for example, have you heard of this Me Too movement? Hashtag Me Too.
Of course, yeah.
So you've heard of it. Have you heard of it?
Vaguely, if you could.
Okay, so the Me Too movement pretty much, from my understanding, it started with Harvey Weinstein, which was like a huge movie producer or movie executive, and he was pretty much like raping a bunch of women and these
Assaulting them,
actresses, and assaulting them, and he's like, oh, this is just showbiz, you know. So now women have been taking a stand, so they were afraid to speak out about it because they feel like no one will believe them because there's this big, powerful man who's established in the industry. I can't challenge him. He's just always gonna have the final word. So now it's almost like since women are now they're more comfortable speaking about it, and this whole toxic masculinity and these things that people have been getting away with for so long, now it's almost like, no, now we need to be careful because if I look at a woman the wrong way, that's going to be assumed.
Yeah.
Bro, there's good masculinity and there's toxic masculinity. There's good femininity and there's toxic femininity.
Well, that's why masculinity is being under attack. Because, for example, how it was before where a man can go up to a girl and be like, hey, baby, I think you're super attractive. I want to take you out. Now a cop can come and she can complain because I touched her.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Or maybe you can open the door for a girl and then I've seen it. And I told you, a woman's been like, I can open it myself. I have 2 arms.
Right, but then they pick and choose when they want to.
Yeah.
You get me? Like, we
I
don't
don't
get
like
into
that.
that. Like, yeah.
That's where it's kind of the problem kind of arises. I guess you got to define masculinity. Like what is it? What does it mean to be masculine?
Yeah, because you said it yourself. Like he feels powerful being able to be vulnerable and say like, you know what, like woman, if you want to take the lead or you're gonna do this, I mean it's fine. I'm not gonna pretend that I'm this.
It's assertiveness, right? Like I said before, dynamic opposition. There has to be someone who leads and someone who submits. You can't have 2 plus batteries or 2 negative batteries. I mean, you know what I mean? But in my opinion, now the man can have the feminine energy energy and the woman could have the masculine energy. That's fine, as long because it fits. You get me? But as long as there's a leader and a submissiveness. If you have two people trying to lead, it's gonna butt heads. You have, in my opinion, that's with business, that's with relationships, that's with politics, that's with anything when you have to get more than one person together. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Yeah, because then it just becomes a competition.
Yeah.
Right.
You're trying to compete who leads, who's the leader, who's the boss, who's...
It's not healthy.
You kind of have to have that.
You're always bumping heads, yeah.
And I also think that's like, I think it can vary. I think you can balance it off where, okay, like I'm going to lead now and then you submit and then vice versa. And then they can balance off because a lot of women, they lead in their work life, right? In their career. And then they want to come home. They don't want to lead. They want to submit to their man. And they want to be like, okay, you pick where we're going to have dinner.
Exactly.
You pick this, you pick that. Like, I don't want to make decisions right now because I've been making decisions for the past 8 hours. Like, so I get both sides, you know, and I think it's healthy to have a balance. But I do agree, men should lead, you know, men should protect. In a way, it is important to provide. Like, if money's not coming in, if you can't provide for your kids or your wife or your partner, it's a problem. And I feel the same way. Like, where it's like I didn't make money because pandemic, working a service industry, I didn't work for 3 months. I was broke. Like, I've never been this broke in my life. And I didn't think about dating. I didn't want to be in a relationship because, bro, if I'm not making money, why am I dating? I'm not in the business of dating right now. I need to be making money. I need to be hustling. But at the same time, I do believe in the point where right now I'm dating somebody, and when we go to dinner, Claudia, she's great with, like, one day I'll pick up the tab, the next she picks up the tab. Like, if she works, I work. We both make money. We both provide. We both accommodate each other very well. You know, if I pick dinner today or she does something tomorrow, so it works for us. What might work for us might not work for Chris. What might not work for you. I think as long as you're with a partner where you can be you, who you are. If you're
communicate
exactly.
I always say deception is the only felony. Like, lying is the only. As long as we're on the same page and we agree and everyone's in the know of what we're doing, then everything is to each his own. Like, as long as no one's lying, like.
And I think so many. The problem is nowadays you see everything on social media. You see everything. People try to live their life how other people live their life.
It's a competition, you know.
Exactly. I'm not very good at living my life the way you live your life. And how Christian lives his life. And I think we need to realize we all are unique, different people, different situations, different traits. You know. So, but I love what you're bringing right now to the table. And I like your insight. It's tremendous. I love it.
I agree.
Sorry, I don't want you guys to lose listeners because I have like a different perspective.
No, not at all.
That's the whole point.
We welcome it because there's like this
it.
norm that sometimes we think that we need to have, and you'll be surprised. Like, when we've had this topic of like who pays the tab, like a lot of women will say that men should, but then you'll have women themselves argue that no, like maybe I want to pick up the tab, or if I invited him, I want to be the one, stuff like that. So it's good because people, they're stuck on believing one thing, and it's until somebody else challenges it that they start thinking differently.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're trying to do with this podcast, is having your opinion be brought out to other people, and kind of so they can see, okay, how does this guy live his life, and let me see what I can provide to the conversation. And that's really what we're trying to do here. You know, opening up the discussion. I think it's very important.
So then right now, so you're just kind of sitting tight, waiting, and
yeah, man. Thank God I was smart in my early days when I was, making a lot of money, and I bought a condo. So
good for you,
that's
man.
That's paid.
That was
for.
smart.
So I live well. I've always lived well below my means.
Respect.
So I knew that when a rainy day came, I'd be. Now this is a long ass rainy day. Don't get it twisted. Like, this is more,
rainy year,
flooded right now.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I know colleagues that are in worse situations than me. You know what I mean? Not, but
that's good. At least, like,
yeah, man.
I didn't know you. I've heard of you, but I didn't really know who you were before today. So I don't know if are you one that used to like flex shit, or were you always like to yourself?
Nah, man. I was always to myself,
that's
bro.
Good,
don't get me wrong. I flex, like I want the nice car. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I live in the hood in an investment property. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, there's certain things I compromise myself on, and there's certain things
But at least you were smart about that, because there's some people that they'll make money and they'll just blow it just to show Instagram, the social media.
$2,000 a month in Brickell, and just
to then compete and say, oh, but look what I got. But then that gives other people who are following them like, damn, babe, but look what he's doing this week.
And see,
He's
I
taking
younger,
this girl here.
I need to be doing this, and he's taking his girl to Swan.
Yeah, he's younger than me,
$500
and he's
days,
able to do this. What does he do? How does he doing it? We can only go to fucking, Chili's.
And I feel that pressure. I feel that pressure to do
know?
that sometimes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I think about, what if you sold your crib and just, pocketed that, 150,000, and I could live like these guys live and make it look like I'm worth more than them. But at the end of the day, who's worth more?
Yeah, you stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's about who's worth more. I think it's ultimately it's what you think about yourself.
100%.
Because a lot of people, they're so stuck up on, oh, what does this guy think about me, or how do I look like to other people? But I mean, from what I'm getting from you is that you're like, I know what I am, I know who I am, and I'm not gonna put myself in a position to look like an idiot because I care about me,
right?
And I know what I'm willing to do, and this is where I feel comfortable. Right. So I admire that, man, because a lot of people, especially here in Miami and our age, they're always like trying to be
stunt. Everyone wants to stunt, show off, but that's just a reflection of people's insecurity. I feel like people are so uncomfortable in their own skin that they have to do shit like that.
I think it just comes down to that competitiveness of like.
I think Miami's also a very flashy city, right? You go out, you see the nice cars, the nice condos and houses and stuff like that. Miami in itself is a very superficial city, and I think it has a tendency of reflecting that onto other people, onto people who live here. Yeah. I think New York might be like that, similar, or Vegas or LA, like major big cities kind of have that tendency, if I'm not mistaken. But at the end of the day, you seem like a very down to earth guy. You seem like genuine. You seem like you know what you're doing. And, I'm sure Chris will join me in hoping that you get back on your feet.
Fuck
yeah,
that
thank
guy.
you, bro.
Fuck this motherfucker.
But it's been a blessing, Like I said it, like this has been the least amount of money I've ever made in my life, but the most amount of knowledge I've gained in my life. So knowledge is currency to me. So I don't chalk it up as a complete loss, Like I'm in a tough spot, but like I'm learning. It took me a whole pandemic to get into the stock market. I should have did that in my 20s.
Same, me too.
Like there's new things that I picked up that are gonna help me in the long run. You know what I mean?
Man, I was just about to ask you something. I totally forgot because you said stocks, and I'm like, let me see my stocks real quick.
Bro, today's not a good day. Yeah,
No.
it's all red on my shit, bro.
I feel like, but I've also spent money today. What was I gonna say? I think experience is your best teacher, and I think putting us in positions that we're uncomfortable. So in this case, we could say like, I haven't been making money. It's the lowest I've made because of the pandemic. You've been put in these obstacles that you're like, what? How am I gonna survive? Not just financially, but mentally. Because I bet you were probably busy before doing a bunch of shows or DJing in a lot of places. Now not doing anything. I mean, how do you spend your time?
And people are losing their mind, bro, because they have not. I talked to my boy in Colombia, and he was telling me, he's like, in your country, in the United States, you guys are just taught to look outward, like on the next material possession, the next thing. You're not taught to look inward and be able to sit with yourself. Most people can't sit with themselves. You put people in a room. Shit, this is called solitary confinement. It's a form of punishment in jail. People can't even sit with themselves. You know what I mean? If you could learn to sit with yourself in a room and not need something, whether it's a vice, whether it's gambling, drinking, sex, whatever, nothing pulling you, and you could just sit with yourself, most people can't do that. They'll lose their mind.
That solitude where you can be by yourself and be
At
happy,
peace.
be content, be at peace.
I think it's ultimately perspective. People say, is the glass half full? Is it half empty? People will say it's always full, half water, half air. It's how you kind of want to view it.
And it's also be grateful and be what's going on. Like, it's been a tough year for so many people, and people lost their job and everything. But at the end of the day, bro, as long as you're healthy, you're breathing, you're waking up, it's another day, it's another blessing. I remember I was on my way over here to the studio, and I pulled up on a red light, and I looked to my right. There was this homeless person on the streets, bro. And it's like, we take so many things for granted. 100%. And it's like, yes, you lost your job, but you still have a roof over your head. Yes, you lost this, or you lost money, or you lost that, but you still have your friends, you have family. People have lost lives. And so it's like, bro, when you find yourself and who you are and being happy with who you have in your life, the few people, or that's kind of when you find your peace, your happiness. And that's what you need. And a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people, they jump from the next goal to the next achievement and the next accomplishment, and they can't be still.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons why I go to Colombia like 3 times a year. Like, I've seen real poverty. I've seen real, and I go there as like it allows me to come back here and be.
It grounds you almost.
Yeah. Exactly. Have everything in a perspective.
Be grateful.
It humbles you. It humbles you.
100%, bro.
Like a lot of here in the U.S., people just, especially in Miami, they strive to make the next money, 6 figures, and this, and better job, and better car. And there's some people who can't even provide dinner for their children.
And they're happier than the people who have the bigger car and the better career. A lot of times the people who are in poverty have done the inner work
Yeah.
and know how to be happy with
Without
nothing.
nothing.
Can sit in the room by themselves and
be
have
happy,
fun.
you know, play soccer outside with a messed up soccer ball.
Right, but you
be
put
happy.
put the person with the Benz, the newest Benz in a room by themselves, they'll go crazy
And be
because
miserable.
they have to consume.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, I feel you. I was in Bali once, bro, and there was these kids playing. They had no shoes on. It was raining. I think they were just left school, and they were happy, man. Happier than I've seen kids here. Because here you come to the U.S., kids on their phone,
iPads.
You know, I work in the service industry. I see kids all the time in a restaurant, and they're like on their phone and disconnected. It's such a day and night, man, and we as a society kind of lost track of that.
I agree, bro.
But so yeah, man. So what's next for you in terms of what's your goal in terms of like,
I feel like this year I set up a lot of long plays, like a long
like planted seeds.
yeah
podcast. That's a long play. You know what I mean?
When did you start?
I started a bunch of different times, but I started in the pandemic consistently in April. I'm on episode 39. So I think I started like 4 months ago.
Yeah, I saw a couple of your snippets. You had some pretty cool people, man.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Good
I'm
stuff,
trying
good
to be, you know, I don't know if you guys deal with this, but like I'm super vague with my content. Like one day I'll have a porn star, one day I'll have a scientist, one day I'll have a doctor, one day I'll have a bartender. So it's like there's no like niche.
That's dope.
There's
That's
no
super
niche.
cool though.
Right, but I feel like it's gonna take longer to develop that.
Yeah.
Because there's no specific audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
there's
like
no guideline, I want to say, but it's a double edged. It gives you that liberty, that
Gives
freedom
you the freedom,
to
yeah.
have anybody on.
right.
Well, we could too. I mean, ultimately,
we
I
could.
feel like everyone's still gonna have a story no matter what. But
Right.
for you, like, people will come to us knowing that it's gonna be more about
About
relationships,
relationships.
so then they'll know
Right.
that.
Which I
Become
think
it.
at the end of the day, we all have relationships.
yeah.
Like everybody who deals with it.
It's not just even that. It's not even about love, and that's another thing. Because a lot of people, like I was talking about the 5 love languages, and it's like even if him and I, like we're great friends, best friends, you know, it's just because the 5 love languages is about relationships and about
What are I was gonna say my bad. I was gonna say what are the 5 love? Now I'm like intrigued.
We got you, but for that, it's like I'll know how to better communicate even with anybody, with him, just because I'll know how to interpret it. So the 5 love languages are. Do you want to tell them?
Yeah, words of affirmation.
Such as like, oh Marvin, I love the shirt that you wore today, or Luch, man, that's a dope ass mask. I love your new camera, or like I don't know.
Gassing people up, basically.
Yeah,
give them the gas.
Your hair looks
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I like the product that you use in
No,
it.
but Chris, because that's kind of my love language, and Chris has been very well at reading it. Because a couple months back, or even on
I'll
a
send them
regular
random
basis,
messages. I'm like, dude,
like,
I just want to let you know, like,
you're doing great. You've been
you've done great
on the show.
You look,
or-
you're more fluent, like the way you are, and you've been helping me out on the side, dude. You have no idea that it allows me to do this. So things like that. That's a way to
Exactly.
to interpret
and
that.
it takes 5 minutes for him to send a message, but I get it. I read it. It means so much more, so much to me. So that's a love language for me. Words of affirmation. Another one is physical touch.
Physical touch. So, but that's not so much like, because when you think of a relationship, it'll be like, oh, let's just have sex.
Yeah.
But it's almost like, if
No, I'm that. I'm that because I've heard of this love language thing, and I know I was the touch one.
yeah, a lot of people are. That's his secondary one, I would say.
Hugging and
Holding
Because he has like, I
hands,
like just being touchy.
Yeah.
I'm a touchy
massages,
boyfriend. Like,
cuddling,
being
like,
affectionate.
yeah, I'm a same sider. When we sit at a restaurant, I'm sitting on the same side as you.
I'm
People
glad
look
you
at me
brought that
crazy.
up. Yeah, well, so you like sitting on the same side. So I had a
I
conversation.
mean, not on a
with
first date, but like once
No,
you're
no.
my girl,
Take a
we're gonna
minute.
be same siders. My hand's gonna be on your leg. I'm gonna be driving with my hand on your leg. And I actually had this crazy. I had this girl. It might have been the first or maybe second time in my life this has happened. And of course, she was Colombian, but I got like a massage. Like she gave me a massage, and I was like, holy shit! Like it affirmed that my love language is touch.
Right,
Because
right.
it made me want to just I'll do whatever you need now. Like. And it wasn't even sex. It wasn't even sex.
No, no.
Yeah, no, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you sit on the same side when you go to dinner, or you sit across?
I sit across.
What about you? Same side?
side?
Why?
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't. I like judge people. No offense.
Well, if I'm trying to get to know you, we're gonna be across from each other. I have to get to know you. I want to have good
Yeah.
conversation. But if you're my girl
Sit on the
and
same
we're
side.
out together in a restaurant, we'll be next to each other. Like,
Yeah, but you still want to get to know this. Like, how about your day and like this and that? Like, I feel like getting to know somebody never really truly ends, right?
it can almost be like I don't say impersonal, but almost like there's not that deep
Yeah,
thought
like,
and
if I'm
connection
sitting
when
there,
it's just like, oh, we're out to eat and we're eating.
I could look to you like.
it's like if it's like we're together in bed, shoulder to shoulder, talking shit. We're at a restaurant in a booth, shoulder to shoulder, talking shit. As long as I could touch you, like I don't know, it's just weird. Like
Like,
you know,
What are you gonna say? You have the mic up to your
No,
face. No, nothing.
nothing.
Yeah,
Well-
sit on the same side.
Another one. Another one is acts of service. So let's say he has a partner and he knows that, or we'll use you as an example. Let's say Yadira's always washing the dishes after you guys eat. One day, you know, she finishes feeding the baby, and then while she's doing that, he'll start washing the dishes. She's gonna be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Be like, "Oh, you know what? I wanted to handle the dishes today." That's an act of service that he did, knowing that she doesn't like doing it because she's always doing it.
Or fill up her gas tank or something. That's an act of service. Cutting the yard.
Yeah, maybe she's uncomfortable putting the gas, and you just drove the car. You're like, you know what? Before I get back home, I'm
And without her asking, right? That's key.
Yeah. And without getting anything in return.
Yeah.
It's not conditional. You're doing it because you love them and you just want to do that. There is
service
gifts.
Receiving
gifts, and people think it's a material or materialistic, or it's a monetary. It's more, for example,
a little note, a little gift card, or it could be anything. It could be.
I was at one of my exes. She got me a tank top because she's like, "Oh, I was at H&M. I was there shopping for something, and I saw this tank top. I thought it was gonna look great on you, dude." I was so excited because that's my love language. When you put the thought of enough to say, "Hey, I got you," because I'm a very giving person. So the fact that someone like almost reciprocated that and being like, "Oh, you know, I was here and I gave you this." Or I had one girl that she gave me like a box. It was for Valentine's. She gave me a box, and inside it was like for when you're sad. And it was like a little thing. You would open it and it would be like a note for when you're happy, for when you want to have fun. Like it was a little tequila bottle or something that you would, you know, something like that. That for me meant the world because she put in the effort. She thought about like, "Hey, I want to give this to him." And then the last one is quality time.
Quality time. It's the fifth one.
Yeah, so it's not, for example, people can say that if you sit next to each other at a restaurant, that's not really quality time because you guys are just there to eat, you know? No, it may be wrong. Like, it's still quality time for you. But for people, it may be like, "No, I want you to sit in front of me," or like, if we're going to watch TV or we're going to have dinner, like, I don't want to just, we just finished cooking. Let's not just eat and like, oh shit, like I'm on my phone. It's almost like, so let's discuss.
I feel that because I don't like watching TV. I'd literally rather just talk with you than to watch TV.
Right.
Like, I'm not a movie date guy. I don't like to take women out to movies.
People think that's stupid anyways. That's like the worst place you can go on, like on a first date.
Or second date.
Yeah,
unless you both have been talking about a movie, you're like, "Babe, we got to go watch it."
Right,
and that's one thing.
Yeah,
but
different.
to be like, "Hey, you know,
Let's go to a movie.
let's go to the movies and sit for 2 hours and not talk, and then I'll take you home."
Work.
Like, what? Yeah, what's that for?
What was a movie?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are the 5 love languages. Did we get all of them? Yeah.
Yeah, that was fine.
I think so.
Yeah, I heard that touched upon before, but I've never heard it broken down like you guys.
So
did,
you think physical touch is yours?
Yeah, I think for sure.
There's a quiz. You could probably do the quiz and see. Like, I mean, it's hit or miss because like there's some questions. For example, like, would you rather be spending time with someone or would you rather them gift you something?
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, I want something. You know, like I rather this. Yeah, there's no both. So some of them it's like a little bit like fucked up.
The other day I made a list and I posted on my story and I had like 20 girls in my DMs like commenting on it. I made a list of my non-negotiables of exactly what I want.
Look up the list.
I have it. So I mean, it's like 10 things, but and I was like, am I too picky for this? And women are like, absolutely not. You know what you want. Like that's to be applauded. Like
but do you think that you'll always have? So do you have a checklist of what you want in a woman, or at least? Well, this is non-negotiable. This is what you can not accept in a person.
Right.
What do you got?
Read the
list.
I'm just gonna read a quick. I'm gonna just read it quick. Ready?
All right.
Latina, no kids, at least 5'6", natural, uneducated, comes from a good family, sense of humor, witty.
They know I'm a phony.
Sense of humor, witty, inspired by art, moved by literature, hips, passionate, touchy, can dance, can cook, fashionable, clean, good taste in music, has a gym routine, orgasmic, and thorough.
Very specific.
And I think that's realistic. I think that's very realistic.
At
and
5'6",
and mad one. Yeah, that's one thing I learned. I learned to like gravitate, but I'll take trade-offs. Like I'd rather take height over boobs. That's just my opinion.
Wait, can you go over the first 5 again, please?
Yeah.
I feel like we need to discuss this.
Okay. So basically, like I only date like Latin women.
You like Latin women?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, I've been heavily learning Spanish for 5 years. So like, and I've had my exes. Most of my exes are Dominican and Puerto Rican. So like, I've always had them talk to me in Spanish. So it's like a thing that, you know, and that's just my opinion.
Okay, but that's understandable. That's your type.
Right.
You like that.
Educated, need educated. No kids.
It's non-negotiable.
Her first has to be my first. That's non-negotiable.
I like that.
Damn, but what if you?
big one.
Well, let me ask you a question. So let's say you go out with someone and she doesn't disclose it, right? You meet her.
It'll be disclosed before I even go out with you.
Okay.
I'm gonna be on that IG like looking. If it says raising a king in the bio, nope.
What if you meet her? What if you don't even meet her through social media? What if you don't meet her through social media? Would you ask?
Oh,
I'll know on the first date. That'll be one of the leading. I'll know that on the first
Hi.
date.
So you ask the
My
question.
name's Casey. You got kids?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not that quick, but it'll happen like maybe the third sentence. Like,
I told him that I would like it's an important thing to bring up, and then he said his argument was, "Oh, some people aren't comfortable disclosing that." And I'm like, "It's
Yeah.
important.
it's huge.
Deal
It's
breakers.
huge. Well, we're gonna have your episode coming. I mean, this will be out already, but we have your episode, and I think one of the questions is like, what are some challenges that you as a parent, single parent, have? That's, if you look at it's in the drive. You should look at the drive.
Okay.
There's been updates.
Okay.
But if you look, there's a post that's like, oh, like, you know, single parents, like what have been challenges that you've had within dating. So I'm curious to see what people are gonna say, because that could be one of them where people are just like, nah, no kids. Like I won't even deal with it.
So what if you meet a woman who has she fulfills all those elements on the list except she's like a 2-year-old. No chance. She has no chance.
Not doing it, bro. Yeah.
A lot of disappointed women right
What
now.
else you got on the list though? You said
And you know what's crazy? I ask women that all the time. Is it bad that I say no kids? They're like, absolutely not.
No.
There's nothing wrong with what, you know what I mean?
I mean, you're just filtering your search, and someone with kids is gonna say you're a piece of shit because you're not giving anyone a fair chance. But it's just like they wouldn't give a chance to someone who doesn't speak Spanish or someone was born here because I need someone who's Hispanic. Like that's gonna be their thing
everybody
too.
has their kind of criteria.
their preferences.
Nothing wrong with it.
Educated,
That's
good.
I think that's very important.
comes from a good family,
I think that's very
That's good.
fair. That's good.
sense of humor,
Important.
witty. Like I like words, so like being quick in sense of
Oh,
humor goes
clever.
with witty,
Clever.
slick,
I like
slick
that.
back and forth.
I like
if I
that.
joke, you gotta come back with the joke. And I've had women that have all these categories, but not one woman that has them. You know what I'm saying?
So find it all. Huh.
Yeah, but I feel like it's not.
What
that.
else you got? What else you got?
You know, inspired by art, moved by literature. That goes with just like someone who is into music and
Artsy.
likes words and gets inspired by shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, passionate.
You said natural. I want you to read that. Why are you skipping over that one? boy?
Natural. Oh shit, my
Natural.
bad. Yeah, naturals.
In terms of what?
You don't like fake titties?
Boobs. Boobs are fine. You know. I just feel like it can't. There's a culture of surgery right now. It's a culture. Like, and I'm just.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Have you heard of the influencer Jocelyn Cano?
No.
Have you heard about her? Bro, she had like I don't know how many millions of followers. Bro, she
Didn't she die?
30
I've
years
heard
old,
of
went to
that.
The
Colombia.
Mexican American, right?
Yeah.
She's
all of a
Yeah.
sudden y'all know who she is.
Yeah.
Bro, she went to Colombia to get a butt lift, bro, and it was a botched surgery. She died 30 years old.
That's actually a very dangerous surgery, but
It is one of them because
It's
it's
more
by
than
like
what
a
it-
main artery or some shit like that.
Is it?
it's risky.
Did
than
you
any
hear
other-
about it? Did you hear about it?
Somebody told me about it like 2 days ago.
Well, I don't know the full
details.
story, but yeah, dude, because I see so many people, and it's funny, like that I've grown up with that they're like pretty girls, but they continue like lip fillers or
Lip
like
fillers.
they get their cheeks done, their
And see,
jawline.
the bigger issue is there's something within their character. Like it's not the actual surgery in itself; it's your mind. Like you possess certain traits in your mental that I'm not with. You know what I mean? Like there's no shortcuts in life. That's why on here is a gym routine is big for me. I go to the gym. I don't require anything that I don't do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not requiring shit that I don't require of
Right,
myself.
You can't fulfill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So-
because if you had kids and you're like, oh, I don't want to date anybody kids, I'm like, it's kind of.
A gym routine is important to me, bro. And then the opposite of that is a girl who's just gonna do the shortcut and get surgery and just not have. And you got to go to the gym after. Well, you're just gonna like.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. They skip a couple of steps. I mean,
To each his own, but
Yeah.
this is just me.
I got a question for y'all, because I don't know where I heard. I don't know if they asked me or if it was just in conversation. Do you think someone who has a lot of surgeries, you know, whether breast, ass, face, whatever, do you think that
They need therapy.
what the fuck?
I mean, this is my opinion.
I was gonna
If you're relying on it,
I was gonna say,
Need help.
do you think they're promoting self-love? There's two
self-love
ways.
would-
There's two ways to see
no,
it.
No,
because
because
self-love is going to the gym and doing it the healthy way and taking care of yourself.
No, but what about if their face, a nose job, or lip fillers, or
Part of self-love is loving your imperfections. I have a terrible hairline, bro. And
you're
I rock
talking
it.
to the
I rock-
president of the corporation.
You feel
over
me?
here?
Like I rock my imperfections. Like my nose is crooked, and I'll make fun of myself in front of a woman. And like I always crack on myself. Like I'm comfortable in my own skin.
I understand that.
Yeah, you got to embrace it.
But
it's tricky.
Go.
Because I feel like women are held up to such a higher standard. You gotta look pretty, and you
especially
gotta be
now with
skinny.
social media.
With
is almost
social media.
worse.
That makes it worse. They compare themselves to
Exactly.
everything.
You gotta compete
I
to,
agree.
like, to all these social media influencers and Instagram models and this and this. You gotta be skinny, but you can't have surgery. Then you gotta do this, but you can't have that.
And-
you gotta be thick, but you can't have stretch marks. You gotta have this, but you can't have this. So it's hard. For
And let me be clear, like I'm talking about women who lean on. If you have kids and you get a quick surgery to get, that's fine.
Maybe
but if
your
you're,
breasts you want to fix.
right?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with
There's
that.
nothing
You lose a lot of weight.
I'm
they're
saying
like,
lipo every 2 years. Like if you're leaning on it, you know what I mean? That's where it becomes a problem, in my opinion.
I feel you.
I agree.
So because I was gonna say the other way you can see it is like, you know what, I don't care if it looks bad because I still love myself, but I want to do this for me. Because for example, women will say, well, I don't have breasts, or maybe my breasts are too big, I have back pains, or my clothes don't fit me properly. I want to now get them reduced. Like people will say, well, you should love how you look with your big ass titties.
Yeah.
But she's probably like, yo,
my shit hurts.
I'm
in pain.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
God made you that way, in pain.
And how much is it self-love at the time, but in 5 years you regret it?
True, but maybe it'll help them like almost love
healthier.
their own
For the-
bodies more
for the moment, maybe. Because I know a lot of women
This is
that
a
are getting tattoos removed. I know a lot of women that wish they didn't do the huge boobs. I know women that got the boob job. Now they want to get the reduction again. Like,
Yeah.
Heard a lot
you
of
got to
that,
take
actually.
long term. You know,
You gotta take time to think about that. It's a big step in your life.
everything can't just be reacted on how you feel right now. In my opinion.
But there's some people who are like, oh, I've been wanting this for years, right? It's like, oh, I want bigger
then-
boobs. So I've met women who are like, oh, I got a boob job, and they've never been happier because they were flat.
Yeah, exactly.
Flat as a
Clothes
bread.
fit them better.
Right.
You know,
So-
they feel more comfortable,
feel
more
more comfortable.
confident.
Yes.
So
Right.
now they love themselves more.
Right,
You know,
but if
like
you get the boob, now you're like, oh shit, now I want to get the lips. Oh, my lips look lit. Now I want to get the lipo.
It's like an
Oh shit,
addiction.
that's what
That's
I'm
the
saying. It's the
problem.
women who lean on it.
that's
Like
that's what bothers me, son. Because
Yeah,
I know a
because
lot
it's
of
like-
pretty girls, bro. And no disrespect. Hey, listen, if anyone if you're even listening, whatever. Point is, you know, you want to get your lips done, but are you doing it because you want bigger lips, or are you doing it because you think they'll look better in pictures that you post?
No, you're doing it
That's
because
100.
Where I'm
Or
like-
because someone on social media
Yep,
has
there
it.
you go. You're doing it because
That's
you're
what
trying
I'm
to be
saying.
somebody else.
That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
maybe
you-
all your friends got it. Or
Yeah,
something.
because
So
you
wanna
see
do
it
it.
on social media. You're like, well, no, she has it. She's posting all these
Society.
pictures with
These
the
girls are
fake
not all starting to look alike to y'all?
Yeah, they all look like ducks.
Yeah.
I don't know. They all look like ducks, but they're all kind of like fitting a
Same-
mold.
Yeah, they're trying to all
Look the same.
You're gonna
like
get some-
embrace your
We're gonna
individuality.
get some backlash here.
And I always, and maybe it's
No,
not
but
my place to do it, but women that I meet that are completely natural, that may not be super curvy or voluptuous. Like I over compliment those women. Like because like the last girl I had on my podcast, she was natural, and I was telling her, don't feel that pressure. She's like, sometimes I feel
spitting that game. Son.
Sometimes I feel the pressure. I'm like, no, like that. While everyone goes left, you go right. Like that sporty look is gonna come back. There's certain things you could rock that they can't rock, like
Right.
outfits and shit. Like so.
Right now, wouldn't you think it would be great if we had a woman on the podcast right now with us, and we would ask them, what do you think if we get lipo? What do you think?
I'm working
if
on it. I'm
we
working on it.
Get
I'm working
our
on it.
chest done. What do you think if we get fake abs? Because those things do happen.
They
with
do
men.
exist.
They do, but then
What does that say about your work ethic as a man? You know what I'm saying? What does that say? Does that say that you're just trying to take the shortcut? I'm gonna do the fake abs. Like, what else are you gonna take
looks
shortcuts
so
in?
stupid.
What else are you gonna take shortcuts in life? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that translates into other aspects of your life and how you live.
yeah,
in my opinion.
you should taking the easy way out. That's the way
Right.
it shouldn't be that way.
Right.
I get the boob jobs because you can't do anything about small
Right,
boobs.
right, right.
But the
Yeah.
butt, that's where I'm like, bro, that's
For me, it's like
work
I
your
think
ass out.
and like look at the man speaking like, but I think surgery looks the best when you don't know it's surgery. In my opinion,
What looks natural?
exactly
Yeah,
when you
okay.
can't tell. Like, I don't know, man.
No.
we dive deep into this subject. But I mean, anything else on that list that you want to disclose, or
Yeah, what else you got on that
damn, bro.
you got a diary right there?
You know, can dance like for me. Like I've had one like I have videos where I'm dancing, like I dance bachata and salsa, and they go viral, like the white guy dancing.
you're
So
white,
like
yeah.
I've had girlfriends that I like to go to like Típico and clubs like where you could dance, and I've had girls that I go and they can't dance. And they feel bad, and they so I'm like, I've tried to teach, and it doesn't like. So I'd rather have a girl that knows how to dance because that's what I like to do on my spare time for
Right.
fun. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Just
nothing wrong with that.
You guys are gonna make me feel like I'm picky, but I could show you the DMs where women are like, "No, there's nothing wrong with your list."
No, I'm not.
We're not. No,
listen. There's nothing wrong with being picky. There's nothing wrong with being selective. I'd rather you be selective than
knowing what you want, right? Than opposed to
Exactly.
not knowing what you want.
and then like stringing people along.
I mean,
like
the good thing is that, like, I mean, they're non-negotiables in a sense, like, but what if something's like, what if a girl doesn't know how to dance, but she has everything else on the list?
but dancing can be taught, like
Right,
you
to an
know,
extent. And if you're not with it, then I'm gonna go out and dance.
Deuces.
And if it's with other women, just know I'm just dancing. Like it's just, you know.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up.
Just
What do you
dance.
think about that? Let's say you're in a club, in a party, house party, whatever, and they're dancing salsa, because I don't know how to dance salsa, right?
Nope.
Luz, you know how to dance salsa? Yeah, because I'm single. I need to learn.
Me and you took classes.
Yeah,
we
we
didn't
tried taking
fucking
classes.
learn.
We didn't go very far.
There's a difference, bro. If you're dancing like pegadito, like fucking all up on each other and shit, then that's like a
No, because
violation.
some
But
people
if y'all
will be
just,
like, yeah, like, oh, like I'm like, I don't know, like, just be like dancing. How would you feel about that? Because let's say you don't know how to dance salsa,
Yeah.
but then I don't know, some guy from a party is there, like maybe you know him briefly, you've seen him before, he's part of the family, whatever,
Uncomfortable.
and he's like, oh hey, like,
Yeah, I would want to learn. Like I
I was gonna say, if your girl dances with him and they have crazy chemistry and you're like, holy shit, you're gonna want to learn.
Well, even before that, I
yeah.
actually do want to learn.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, bro, teach me. Like,
Yeah.
why you gonna dance
yeah, but
some
it's
random ass
different because
nigga?
then most girls, what they'll say is, oh, I don't know how to lead, I just follow.
Well, then,
And I think that's a translation of how the sex is gonna be. If you have dance chemistry,
I agree.
that's just my opinion.
What? You got the mic up to your face. What do you guys say?
No.
Do you agree?
That's weird.
Why?
Then,
what's weird?
I don't know. It's weird to picture that.
Like the
No,
women.
but I
that-
understand.
The women that you have
Yeah, but it's
dance
just-
chemistry with.
You imagine you freaking with your girl and you don't know how to dance and you go to a party and she's dancing with her cousin that look great. Now you're just thinking about that question in your head that damn they're gonna have great sex.
My girl and her
Great
cousin are gonna
sex.
Right, but
fuck.
there's a difference between doing it as friends and doing it like sensual. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Where kind of it's crossing the line a little bit.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm glad you brought that up. So, what do you think about? So, are there certain things? Well, obviously, you DJ and stuff like that. Do you feel like certain things
I
that
know
you're
where
not
you're
okay with, that you're not comfortable with your partner doing?
Yeah, are there
or clubbing
non-negotiables of where like you wouldn't feel comfortable your partner going to a certain place?
without you, or is it?
But now
nightclub
put yourself
or-
in the position too, because what if you want to do something that maybe like it's just with your boys?
I think as long as you tell me what you're doing, I have to trust it. Like I want to trust you. If I can't trust you, then why are we having this relationship? So I need to be. If you say, "Hey, I'm going to do a podcast with 5 men," baby, do your thing. Like you hit me if you need anything.
What if
like
she's
that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
What if she's like, "Oh, baby, it's Natasha's birthday. We're gonna go to live with the girls."
do your thing.
Okay.
Do your thing. I'm not. It's crazy. I'm not possessive like that. Like do your because guess what? I'm gonna have to do that for work.
Right.
I have to
that's
be.
true, yeah.
You have to trust me. We have to have trust. That's the biggest thing.
Him and the person before match perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're lined up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the way that I see it is the same way. I'm like, if we're gonna be in a relationship, I feel like there's a sense of security where, like, I don't think that people should be jealous in a relationship. You think jealousy is healthy in a relationship?
No way.
Good.
How?
Because with the last person we had, that was an issue that she had with someone where it's like a little bit of jealousy is healthy because, and you're the one that said it, because it's almost like, oh, they don't want me enough, or they.
Bro, that's great, bro. That's literally the clip on my podcast.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's jealousy. I think it's you have to keep each other on your toes so you don't get comfortable.
Okay.
You have to. And I regret my wording, but this is how I worded it. I said you have to make your girl think that there's the possibility that you might cheat on her. Now, when I
That
say
wording is terrible.
Yeah.
yeah,
That is awful.
and when I say cheat on her, I mean like there's women in a line for you. Your girl wants other
still-
women to want you.
Okay.
And that's gonna keep her on her toes because she's gonna have that, or you could just be comfortable and y'all get fat together and just let yourselves go. But you have to have that yo, if I slack, my girl has the next guy that she could go with, and if she slacks, I have the next girl that I could go with. That's healthy, in my opinion. This is my opinion.
I think a great way also to say is like, okay, like you could be with anybody. You a good looking guy, she's a great looking girl. You could be with a dozen other girls. She could be with a dozen other guys. But you guys chose to be with each other. It's a choice. So I think that's kind of what it translates to when you say, yeah, you can be with other girls, but she can also be with other guys and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
And
Right,
but
right.
we choose to be together.
But we choose to be together. We choose to be
And we
loyal
want
to each
this.
other and committed because we want to, not because we have
Right.
to. We can't be
If you
with
get too
anybody.
comfortable and you feel too entitled, like, oh, she's with me, I could do whatever, and vice versa. That's when y'all let yourselves go. You don't have that same vitality. You know what I mean? Like that same.
I had a coworker who got married. They bought a house together, and he said, "Well, I made it. I can chill now." You know what happened to that relationship? After 3 years, he got a divorce.
And bro,
They both went different ways.
you know what
because
else
they got
I would
too
even
comfortable.
bring up, bro? This is super non-traditional, but I've never done it before. But I think it would behoove the relationship to do this. I think a relationship would live longer if. Now, this is without kids. If y'all live separately, I think that would
Separately, what, in different homes or different? What do you mean?
different
Yeah,
homes,
different like
different homes.
But you mean a relationship, but like marriage, you can't do that.
Right. I'm saying marriage and kids, but even
But you mean like
any relationship gets old. You have to freshen things up all the time. So I feel like when you make it, more, damn, how do I word it? Like when you're excited, you know what it's like when you're excited to see someone. I haven't seen you in
missing them, like that
haven't
feeling of missing them.
Right. It makes their presence that much more
Distance
valuable
makes
to
the
you.
heart grow fonder.
Boom.
yeah, but I mean, if you're planning on marrying this person, having kids with that person, you have to find other ways to spice things up, and
Right.
keep things interesting.
At the end of the day-
not be complacent.
Right, I feel you. But at the end of the day, you have to find a way to make someone appreciate your absence. So I'm not. It's like a double-edged sword, like in my opinion. And this is just
No, absolutely.
I
absolutely.
get what you're saying.
What do you
warped.
got? What do you got over there?
No, I'm just I get your point, but don't you think that maybe just going to the gym for 2 hours, 3 hours could
Right. No,
justify
I agree with you. I'm just bringing extreme. I'm
spending
just
time with
presenting
your
this
boy.
scenario. Like I think a relationship would last longer if it wasn't if you weren't up each other's
Yeah.
ass all the time.
less fights. But
Yeah.
I know somebody that, and I asked him the other day, and I'm like, dude, why are you always at work? And he was like, the more I'm here, the less I fight.
That's kind of
It's kinda-
sad.
it's
though.
kinda- I know.
Think about the
Yeah.
pandemic. Everyone got to live together
That's
now.
an extreme, though.
But the guys,
Like, why would you?
Then
the
why the
guys
fuck am I
at
with
work,
this person?
the guys at work 12 hours a day, and he's like, we fight less. But that's
Anything to
what
not
your
be home.
point.
Everyone
That's-
gets tired of
Yeah,
you
that's
show me
what
the
you're-
baddest chick and I'll show you the guy who's tired of fucking her.
I say that all the time.
Like,
No, that's
it-
anything.
That's what his point comes
That's
in.
with anything. Yeah, I get it.
Right, with
you need
anything.
alone time.
Yeah. Yeah.
dude, but I mean,
I mean, you could be extreme, like you said, or you can just take it easy and be like, oh, we go to the gym 2-3 hours.
That's what
today,
I'm
and,
saying.
And you just
If the
not be
divorce
together.
rate is at like 70%, right? Something's
I
wrong.
believe so.
I think
Yeah.
that's the second.
That's the second or third. I don't know. I gotta go through my
clips.
clips.
Like 40-50%. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would.
Then it goes up.
What? Yeah.
But I think that's why it's important for you to have your own life. For her
That's
to
what
have her
I
own
was
life.
gonna. That's where I wanted
Whether
to
it's
go.
yoga or you do your own thing, you're DJing or you're producer or hey honey, I'm gonna go.
You gotta be
Exactly.
happy alone.
Exactly.
Facts.
You know, because if you rely on somebody else to be that happiness, so you're always together thinking and that's what happiness is, you guys are gonna get sick and tired of each other.
You got to fill your cup before you can fill someone else's cup.
Exactly.
Absolutely. You gotta have your own thing. Because when people get caught up with so much, like you're so infatuated with this person that you forget about all your other friends, your own life.
They
own
lose themselves,
goals,
lose their identity.
And then that's when the trouble begins, the jealousy, the insecurity. Because now this person is like your whole identity. You
It's,
don't
it's,
know who
it's
you are
your
without them.
life because that they are filling this void that you're
dependent,
relying on
yeah.
them to do.
Yeah.
When if you had your own stuff, then you can look forward to having it and a partner who wants and encourages you to have your own stuff.
Exactly.
That's going to be the full health because you want to be able to be like you can't be with someone who's going to be jealous that you're going to have or like you're going to be spending time with me and it's almost like no, like this is my life, like I'm doing this, like you have to support me as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the other day, we went to brunch and I was gonna bring my girl. It was only Chris and one of my boys, and I told her, she's like, "No, go ahead, have fun. I'll see you in a couple of hours." And so there's some other girls who be like, "Oh, like I'll tag along. Well, I want to go. I want to
Yeah,
insert myself."
I'll hang out with your boys, and
Yeah,
it's just
exactly,
like,
but it's
I
like-
mean, it's fine, but it does change
it's a different
the
dynamic.
Exactly.
But it's like take the couple of hours, hang out with your boys, catch up. Not saying that if I was there, it would be bad, but it's just not the same.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Oh, and then she went to hang out with her girls.
It's important women that
Healthy.
know that, bro. Yeah, that's healthy, bro.
And then at the end of the night, we came together and you spent time together, and it was great.
Exactly.
Balance, right? So I think that's important.
I concur.
100%. I'm being a little extreme on my views so we could get these views up.
Yeah,
We gotta
This is the clickbait.
stir it
stuff
up,
you're
spice
talking
it
about.
up. But
No, man, but that's great. I'm trying to think of other challenging stuff. We gotta slowly wrap it up. We gotta take pictures and stuff else.
Yeah, one thing.
No. Amir, do we have anything else?
One thing I wanted to circle back. So in terms of like deal breakers, and obviously you seem like a very reasonable person. When it comes to, let's say, OnlyFans? Obviously, there's a lot of girls who have it, especially now more popular than ever. What is your insight? What is your
It just comes down to what are you doing on OnlyFans?
the content that they post.
Right. That's all I care. I mean, you could have an OnlyFans and you like read books. Like, you know what I mean?
Right, but like if they say they post racy pictures, maybe some nudes, is that a deal?
Or maybe
breaker
not
for you?
nudes. I think nudes maybe will cross a bit of a line for anybody.
Maybe like a nipple.
Okay,
or,
so here's like, I guess you could call it like a love language, and I think I fall in the minority of guys who feel this way, but I like showing my girl off. My girl is not to be like some sacred object. Like I'm not that controlling in my opinion. I like when dudes look at my girl.
I agree.
And guess
I like
what?
that.
Yeah,
I like
I'm gonna
that.
watch you watch her, and then I'm gonna walk up to her and I'm gonna grab her ass in front of you, and you're gonna feel crunchy.
I find it like as a trophy. Like I'm like,
I'm proud
look
of
what
that.
I
It's an
got.
it's kind of
compliment.
superficial of us
Yes.
men to say some shit like that. I'll admit it, but you're my trophy. I want to flaunt you and show you off. That's my opinion.
And there's got to be a level of trust, and the whole reason why you're in a relationship, you trust them enough to want to be with them, because a lot of people will find that jealous. Like they'll go up to the guy like, "Oh, what are you looking at?" You know, for me, I'm just like, "You like what you see?" Because trust me, I like it too.
Bro, a lot of guys can't handle bad bitches.
That's
like
what I'm
I've been with
saying.
beautiful women. I mean, I'm sorry, ladies. Beautiful women my whole life, and it takes a special type of security.
You gotta have some balls.
Being with a DJ too, a woman it takes a special type of security to be with someone. A trust. The trust has to be extra strong for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like we had a guy on the show who's a promoter and he was dating a bottle girl, and it's like, bro, like you have to be comfortable enough to be dating somebody who works in the industry. Or
Yeah,
a
knowing
promoter.
that she might get grabbed.
Bro,
and-
my ex that I was with in the beginning of this year in the pandemic, she's the lead VIP waitress at Tootsie's.
Oh my god.
She wasn't stripping or anything, but
Yeah.
she's in the waitress clothes, you know, like ass showing and shit.
Yeah.
Like, and then she would just come home to me when she got off at like 4 a.m, 5 a.m. So I'm cool with it, like,
Yeah, it's tough.
because
A lot of
I
people
you know
can
what, I
handle
feel
it.
like my occupation is like the male version of that.
Like
Almost,
I'm the
yeah.
DJ. I got women fucking giving me massages while I'm DJing at Wall and shit, like from like Europe and shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, and she has to be cool with that.
But do you think that you're cool with that because you're also in the industry? Because I work 9 to 5. I work at a bank. So if you had my career,
You look like you work at a bank, by the way.
it's probably the suit.
Yeah.
So do you think that if you were almost like in my position, I mean, it might be hard for you to actually think because you're kind of in your shoes, but
Right.
do you think that if you're in my position that you would feel comfortable if you're dating someone that's the lead bottle girl, whatever, at Tootsie's, knowing that she's going to be coming that late? Because you understand the industry, you can handle it yourself, but do you think that you can date someone outside of your industry? I think that's the bigger question.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to put yourself in a position.
Yeah,
right
because you're
now.
in the bad part of it.
Well, I think if
so-
you're I'm gonna use this term loosely, but if you're a man of value, you shouldn't be insecure.
I
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I
So
agree.
like you could be the banker and still be you could be a man of value and make money and this. So if you're holding your own and you have a career and you're excelling in your field and you're at the top of your field and you know there's women that want to be with you because you're at the top of your field, then there's no reason for you to be insecure. There's no reason for you to, in my opinion.
yeah, I like it.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Like you don't have to be in the industry. You could be you could run a janitorial business that makes millions of dollars a year,
Sure.
and you know.
Yeah, it's funny because the other day, I don't know, Ariana Grande, she got engaged. This guy is a real estate agent.
Oh, is that who she's engaged to now? I
this
saw
guy
that.
has like 4,000 followers, and she has like 220 million.
Damn, dog, missed my
So,
shot.
You
Could have been me.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, bro, you got to be dating. Like, obviously, this is on a bigger spectrum, but it kind of goes back to what you were saying. It's like, bro, you got to be secure in what you do. Whether that is a real estate agent dating a fucking supermodel or a
Dude, but
songwriter.
then you got to think, like, how genuine is that? Do you think he's really with her because he loves Ariana Grande's family, or because it's Ariana Grande?
I mean,
we don't know, right?
we don't know.
Yeah.
That's
We
for
don't
her to
know.
figure out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so to circle back, OnlyFans, depending on what the content
Yeah,
is.
if it's bathing suit pics or whatever, and you're actually making money from
like
it.
her in a
But if you're out here
thong.
posting shit and you're making $50 a month, like what are we doing? Like you're just putting.
You got to
shit
start
that-
somewhere, son.
Yeah, dude, you gotta
I
work
mean,
your way
yeah.
up.
I mean,
You
if
gotta
it's
blow
not
up.
if it's not building up to anything, and you just have an OnlyFans in your bio because your homegirl's got it, you know what I mean? Then,
Right.
Then what are we doing? But
Now for that, just put a
I
cash.
feel like
out
I'm
there.
a secure boyfriend.
App.
I'm a secure boyfriend. Like I've had my
the
girl,
same.
my ex showed me DMs of blue check NBA players in her DM and shit. Hey, look, this guy just DM me, and she's showing me, and I'm showing her, yo, look at this girl. She just DM me. Yo, it's crazy. You know, girls are getting dick pics and shit. Crazy dick pics. The other day, I mean not the other day,
Oh,
when I was with my
no.
girl, I was like, and I showed my girl, I was like, babe, look, I got a pussy pic. And I showed my girl the pussy pic, so she knows like
That's
this is
weird.
this is
Like,
a two-way street,
it's a
man.
two-way-
Like
yeah,
I like that though.
Yeah,
You know?
you're a good looking guy. You can get girls, and chances are she's a good looking girl who can
she
get
can
a fucking
get-
guy.
I was talking to someone the other day that she was having issues with her ex, I guess at the time, and the guy was super insecure. I was getting annoyed by the conversation. I wanted to find the guy and punch him in the face. I was just getting so like I couldn't believe it.
Irritated.
But she would be like, oh, like this guy from the NBA? I forgot the guy's name, but would DM her, and she's like, oh, she'd be like, oh my god, look, like, cause she's like a small I-word influencer, has about 10,000-15,000 followers, but she was getting attention from this from an NBA guy. She showed him, and he's like, "Oh, what the fuck? Are you gonna go on a date with him now?" And this was already leading up to what
he loves, and I say this quote, and I'm just being real. The person who loves the least controls the relationship. So the problem is that he loves her more than she loves him. That's why he's so insecure with it. If he had women in line for him as well, he wouldn't care. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying.
Because she's more wanted than he is.
Yeah.
That's why he feels insecure that way. If they were both wanted, he wouldn't care.
That's true. Because I don't think he can understand it. Like, I don't think he can
Right.
relate to having that sort of attention.
Yeah.
Right.
So then he now feels insecure about it.
Right.
But yeah, I was getting mad annoyed because she was getting attention, and she would do the right thing and be like, oh, look. Like, not hide it, because if you hide it, it's just even worse. Even if she doesn't respond, like, you're getting these DMs and like you have a blue check next to someone who DM'd you, like, that's something I would tell my partner. I'm
And I
like,
feel like women have to know that her man has that type of behavior before it even goes. Like, as you get to know someone, I feel like you should learn that they're insecure. Like, they should show you red flags and exhibit different behaviors.
The
So you
little
could
teasers of,
mental
like-
note that, because a lot of times those little seeds, like on the first, second date, oh, that was a little weird. They're gonna blossom into a bigger
see that.
problem in the future.
yeah, because people they like to. I don't want to say they want to put up a mask, but people want to behave their best
You're right.
because they want to impress. And it's understandable. But then once people start getting a little bit more comfortable, or the true values start coming out, that's when you start seeing these red flags or like little hints of like, oh, this is who they really are.
Yeah.
But
I think you got to call
push
people
that
out-
boundary.
Yeah, you got to call people out on there, and like if this is something that they're exhibiting, like, like, hey, this is what's happening. I don't like that. You got to stop doing that. If not, it becomes a problem.
Right.
A lot of people try to oversee that, especially at first. Like, they just brush it under the rug.
Yeah, ignore the red flags
then it
until
grows
it
and
bites you in the
grows.
ass, and now you're stuck with somebody who
Who's
has
like-
these crazy tendencies.
Exactly.
Like, you know,
And then, the biggest problem there is that a lot of fixers is what they are. They'll stick around because they think, well, if they showed me the good in the beginning, I know that they can go back to that, knowing that they're in this horrible, toxic relationship because they think that it can circle back to what it once was, when it won't, because that was the mask that they put on trying to impress you. They got you. So now you think, oh, what happened? We can go back there, babe, but bullshit. That's just who they really were. And they didn't change for themselves. They changed because they wanted to do it for you. But that's always going to lead back to what they've always been, which is that insecure person in this case.
100%.
All right. Where you got to take pictures?
He said,
I'm on a breath.
bro, I could do this for hours. So
I know. Do you, anything else that you want to bring up? I mean, we're short on time.
That you want to share?
Turn it off, yeah.
I mean, I guess just follow me on Instagram.
We got you.
Casey Chopz, KCCHOPZ.
Yeah, promote. Okay, you can promote yourself to that one, and then before or after you promote yourself.
Guys, I just want to say a lot of these opinions were just extremist opinions. to if it's all show business. A lot of this is entertainment. We're in the entertainment industry. Please follow me on Instagram, Casey Chopz, KCCHOPZ. My podcast, MIA on the Rocks. Follow it, MIA on the Rocks. The Coffee Breakup. I appreciate you guys having me. Whenever you guys want to come out to the club, I got you a bottle. Whatever you guys need.
Thank you.
So I love the self promotion. And one final thing, we like to close it out with pretty much final thoughts. Any last words you can say to us. It's pretty much like what would you tell your younger self, or anyone who's listening who has issues with their relationships or issues in life? What is something like a final message that you would say? You had a bunch of great quotes, but it could be something that maybe that you feel close to home that you want to share with people.
Okay, I mean, I guess I'll relate it to 2020 and the pandemic and the rough times we're going through right now. I would say that the quote I would bring up would be, this is not the year to get everything that you've wanted. This is the year to appreciate everything that you have.
Love it.
So
beautiful.
That's what I would,
That would be the message for those who are watching. So
yes,
lovely.
Beautiful.
Thank you, fellas.
Chopz.
So it's time to break up, son. Thank you so much for being on the show. We loved it. You were great.
You were
this last minute
and maybe I could get you guys on my show.
We would love to, man. At the end of the day, it's all about helping everyone else and just spreading some love, So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in on another episode. If you're listening to the Coffee Break, If you're listening to us on Spotify, iTunes, and Amazon,
subscribe, share, send it to your friends, your mom.
yeah,
sister.
help us grow the love, help us grow the business. Now, if we recommend you watching us on YouTube, that way you can see who we're talking to, see our guests, see our mannerisms, yeah, and feel like you're a part of the group. You know, feel like we got an extra chair for you. Engage with us. If you are on YouTube, please like, subscribe, share, smash that like button. And most importantly, we're on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Most important, if you feel like you can resonate with something that we posted on Instagram, share it with someone or share it on your story. And ultimately, it's just about normalizing these uncomfortable conversations that people, they like to put excuses on. It should just be like this. And no, you know, sometimes we got to question what it is that we see. And that's what we have the podcast and the page for. So, you know, comment down below or DM us whatever you have that you've thought about. And we have a website.
Coffeebreakup.com.
I always forget.
We have some merchandise, we have some of the podcasts, some insight, who we are, what we do, the social media, the whole shebang. So if you want to check that out, please do so.
Little by little, please help support us. If not, we appreciate the views, the follows, the shares, and the likes, everything like that, the comments. We love it.
Thank you so much, guys.
Until next time.
Pleasure.
Thank you.